the Jewish sound around and about with your walking Jewish encyclopedia, Isaac Resnick, only on 20 Chai. Welcome, good afternoon. A beautiful sunny day in Johannesburg. We've had rain, but we really need some more a little bit later this week, I hope. Now, this afternoon, I'm going to pay tribute to two very, very special people who are very close to me, and I'm sure to many of our listeners throughout South Africa and the Jewish world. First of all, I'm going to pay tribute to Rebbetzin Jill Katz, Esther Giller, renowned, respected, and beloved matriarch and Rebbetzin, who passed away in February this year at the inspiring age of 91. In a moment, I'll just come back to that inspiring age of 91 to tell you a little anecdote. Rebbetzin Katz was always regarded in high esteem as a friend, regal, an elegant lady who conducted herself with absolute grace. She was very dear to her many friends and incredibly devoted to her extended family. I was very fond of her when she was working at the Beit HaTzofot at the Biyachat Center in Johannesburg doing research for the various communities. We used to have many, very conversations, and of course, I saw her quite often at the Keter Torah, where she used to come on a Shabbat or a holiday with her daughter Joan Weiner and son-in-law Trevor Weiner. Alongside her late husband, Rabbi Shapsi Katz, Zeichet Tzadik Livracha, of blessed memory, they served as leaders of the large Pretoria Jewish community for close to 4 decades. In their rabbinical position, they became very influential figures in the wider Jewish community as well as in government circles. After the sudden loss of her husband, Rebbetzin Katz continued to involve herself in communal activities. She volunteered for many years in several great research efforts, including working with the archives of various communities within South Africa. In July 1987, she concluded an 11-year project as editor of the book The Story of the Pretoria Jewish Community up to 1930, beginning its history from the first Jews to settle there in 1855. This book is a great tribute to her enormous task involved in researching and editing the same. Although she had held a very public position, she humbly and quietly touched and affected the lives of many. She was larger than life, with a regal presence impossible to escape. Thankfully, she was blessed to be able to travel often to all parts of the world to celebrate her family's special occasions, something she deeply cherished. She is survived by her children, Mrs. Hannah Zakheim of Jerusalem, Israel, Mrs. Ruth Guyton, Rabbi Michael Katz, and Mrs. Joan Weiner, all of Johannesburg. The light of her life was her many grandchildren and great-grandchildren throughout the world. May her memory be for a blessing. Now, right at the beginning, I mentioned that she was passed away at the inspiring age of 91. I want to tell you a little anecdote. You know, years ago, unfortunately, when people passed away, they were in the early 50s, 60s, and when you saw them or you spoke to families, they would say, "Oh, so old, they passed away." And today the longevity is an average of 89, 90. But I want to tell you about a story of the late Chief Rabbi Cook of Jerusalem. He was the first Chief Rabbi of Palestine. Now, his mother passed away at about the age, I think it was 95 or 96, and he was sitting Shiva. He was already a gentleman of 70 odd, and he was sitting Shiva and weeping. And somebody came up to him and said, "You know, Rabbi, you're crying, you're weeping, but your mother lived to a good age. He says, I know, he says, but you said, who else is going to call me mein Kind, and who else will I call Mama? We're now going to take a break. We'll be back in a few moments. Welcome back. If you just tuned in, I was paying a very, very special tribute to the late Rebbetzin Jill Katz, Esther Gila. And I'm indebted to Diane Wolfson of Pretoria for this magnificent tribute which she gave me as well, which will be appearing in the Pretoria Jewish Chronicle. Now, as a tribute to the late Rebbetzin Katz, because I know the family were very involved with the Lubavitch movement, I'm going to play now from a brand new CD. It's never been played anywhere before, a Hasidic Kaddish in memory of the late Rebbetzin Katz. And this is being sung by Shmuel Barzilai, the Oberkantor of the Vienna Synagogue in Austria.
Yiskadal v'yiskada shemei rabo B'hol mod yivrach Yeruseh v'yamlich malchuseh B'chayechon u'v'yoyim b'choel u'v'chayei d'chol beis Yisroel B'golo u'v'zman koriv v'yimro ויספור ויסרוימום ויסנסה ויסדור ויסלל ויסלל שמי דקודשו לילה מן כל ברכוסו ושירוסו תושבחוסו ונחמוסו דמירון ביובלמו תושבחוסו ונחמוסו דמירון ביובלמו וימרו תסכמת של הסון ובוסו בכל ישראל קודם אבוהון די בשמיו וימרו וימרו יש לו רבה משמיו וחיים עלינו עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו וימרו עושה שלום במרומו ויעשה שלום עלינו עלינו ועל כל ישראל
That was Chazan Shmuel Barzilai singing a Hasidic Kaddish in tribute to the late Rebbetzin Esther Gila Katz. Now I'm also going to pay a very special tribute this afternoon to a very, very close friend of our family, and that is the late Chaim Leib Garb, the son of Eliezer Garb. Now Louis Garb, I'm sure, was known to everyone in South Africa. He was an attorney by profession, very involved in the Jewish community, and of course, I'm sure those who've traveled to Lithuania know about his efforts in getting people to go there, and he was I think he represented the Lithuanian government, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Now, Louis Garb was born in Johannesburg. He came from Mayfair. He attended Jeppe Boys High School. He used to take 2 trams, tram from Mayfair to town, and from town to Kensington to the Jeppe Boys High School. But I want to refer to his family and the late father especially. His father was the Chazan Shani at the Mayfair Shul. And I must tell you, the late Eliezer Garb Zatzal was the most unbelievable Shalech Tzibur. His nusach was impeccable. If you heard him sing, you heard the genuine Yiddish from Vilna. It was absolutely a miracle to listen to this. And for years he sang there. They lived in College Street, and Louis loved chazonis, and I'm going to play something special for him as well this afternoon. And their sister Mary Labordla Chaim, living now in San Diego in America, was very, very friendly with my late sister. We always used to communicate with each other. We used to go to each other's houses. Mary was in our house, I can't tell you how many times, for a Shabbat meal. She worked with my sister at the late Bertha Jacobson near Resnick at L. Feldman Limited. Remember the tobacconists? And they were in town in Sauer Street. And of course, Louis is survived by his wife Shirley. She was Nochemson, his brother Jackie, and Mary Berenson. We were all very, very close. And you know, if we would go to Mayfair, say for a function or a party, we would take a tram to town, and this would be on a Saturday evening, and from town you take another tram to Mayfair. But if the last tram left, say for example 10:30 or 11 at night, you didn't worry, your parents didn't worry. You walked all the way from Mayfair to Jeppe, where we lived, Fairview. And Jackie Garb and I, we worked together at the Zionist Federation when I was editor of the Zionist Record, managing editor, and we organized together the 25th anniversary for the State of Israel. I organized a book exhibition. I was very involved with the library then, and it was held at the City Hall, the City Library. Remember the library in Market Street, the Central Library in Johannesburg, with that beautiful wording outside where it says Liberty Therasis Anonimi, books are the key to knowledge. And Jackie, when I met him the other day, I went to wish them Menachem Orwell, reminded me of the one exhibition that I arranged, and that was an exhibition where a golden Haggadah was exhibited. Something very rare, you didn't see that anywhere. And that was in those days, the talk of the town. I've still got the cuttings. People came from all over to see this golden Haggadah. And also, remember in those days when we had the Rand show, as we used to call it, it was held at the Parktown, right next to Wits University, with the Tower of Light. We also had a stamp exhibition, which was organized by the late Mr. Glassman. That's the Les, Michael, and Jackie Glassman's late father, who was a very, very keen philatelist. I can also mention there was Aubrey Miller as well involved. So the Garb family, very well known to us. I'm sure he's going to be sorely missed by his family, his children, his grandchildren. And I just want to wish the family Chaim Tovim Arukim, a long and a good life, and they may have no further sorrow. So as a tribute to the late Louis Garb, I'm also going to play a cut from this brand new CD called Shema Yisrael. But I'm going to play a Yiddish song, not a chazonis. I'm going to play das Yiddish Lied, because as I said, the late Louis' father, Eliezer Garb, of blessed memory, spoke the most impeccable Yiddish. I only heard Yiddish spoken like that before by the late Rabbi Alloy. And as I said, their nusach was absolutely perfect. So sit back, relax, and involve yourself with this Yiddish Lied.
Der Ried makes an Urim, doch ist sehr reich, weil geistig Jäuzeres oder Ried sehr asach. Der Ried ist geduldig, sein Bitochen ist gereut. Von a brennendigen Läufen kommt lebendig heraus. Man ruft ihm Ben Melech, a Jachsen, a Gewirr, und jedes Land verschließt vor ihm die Tür. Klagt und weint, kennt schon nicht mehr, a viele sein Gelächter. Is gemischt mit a Terror. Macht sich am Mund, es geht ihm schon gut, der mahnt man ihm bald, is a Jid, und man geht ihm wieder, dem Stöcken in der Hand. Sucht ein Land und kommt an alle Völker bis Gott, singen und tanzen und werden Aschmin. Shoshana sitzt in Schul mit Geräusch Kavona und hört von seinen Chasen an der Mine in Yom Kippur bei Nacht. Geht rein in Schul. Wird ihr hören dem Hasen singen? Gott mit Tage viel, mir Kippur aber es macht sich euch amol. Wenn auch freilich in dieser Weil und singt sich freilich und meure, wenn es kommt aus ihm Kasteure. Sisu vesimechu vesimchasteuro, otno kavod latoiro, kito esacho mikol sichoiro, mi pozo mi plinim yekora. Nagil venasi vezai satoiro, ilanu voz veyoiro. Nagil venasi vezai satoiro, ilanu voz veyoiro.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, that was Chazan Shmuel Barzilai singing those Yiddish Lied. I played that specially, as I mentioned, the late Eliezer Garb of blessed memory spoke the most impeccable Yiddish. His nusach was absolutely perfect. I'm now going to play in a few moments a Chazonis piece which Louis loved. He was very, very, very avid lover of Chazan Yitzhak Meyer Helfgott. But before I do that, I want to just mention that Shirley, Shani Nachemson, by the way, they were married for 58 years. They lived in the top of Yeovil there, I remember. Her brother, Dave Nachemson, he seid gesund, he worked for Perscore Press, where we printed, in those days, the Zionist record. And as a matter of fact, I saw him the other day at the hypermarket, and also his son, Jules, now living in London. So, in a few moments, sit back, relax. As I said, this is not a Chazonis program, but this was one of the favorites of Louis Garb. It's Yitzhak Meyer Helfgott, and he's going to sing Rachem Na.
רחמנו אדוני שם אלוהינו על ישראל עמך ועל ירושלים עירך ועל ציון משכן כבודך ועל מלכוס בית דוד נשיחך ועל הבית הגדול והקדוש שנקראו שמך 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 אלוהים ירושלים עירך על ישראל עמך ועל ירושלים עירך ועל ציון ומשכן כבודך מלכוס בית דוד משיחך ועל הבית הגדול והקדוש שנקרא שמך שמך עולם אלוהינו אבינו אבינו ראינו וכלכלנו וערביכנו וערבך לנו אדוני שם אלוהינו מהרה מכל צורותינו ולו תצריכנו עד שם אלוהינו לא לידי מתנס בוסור ודום לא לידי מתנס בוסור ודום לא לידי מתנס בוסור ודום ahoy matnas busor vodom lo elidei matnas busor vodom
Back, that was Hitzak Meyer Health God singing Rochem No, as I mentioned, very favorite cousin of the late Louis Garb of blessed memory. So this afternoon I paid tribute to two very, very special people. Today, by the way, is Purim Katan. Tomorrow is Purim Shushan Katan. So Adar is the happy month, and in a month's time we'll be celebrating Purim. All that remains for me is to thank my very, very good friend who came up from Cape Town, David Ferguson, to help me record this program. Thank you, David. It's been a pleasure. Please let all your friends know wherever you are about this program today. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.